Hello there. Today we're making cowboy beans, beefy cowboy beans Buckie style. And we're going to top it with a nice cheese scone, bake it in the oven. It's going to be delicious. Right, so we're going to start by just some Scottish extra virgin rapeseed oil. Some lardons of bacon, there's about 4 slices there I suppose. And we're going to cook these for quite a while. What I want is them to, the fat to render out and for it to burn to the bottom a little bit, just to make a bit of caramelised sort of flavour. Right, you can see that the bacon's picked up a nice bit of colour. You see a bit of sticking to the bottom, that all adds flavour. So I've got a lovely pack of Rennicke's steak mince. Really good value, 3 for 18. I mean, it's can't beat it all week, can you? So we're going to throw that in now, break it up, and then we're going to fry that until we've got a nice bit of colour and texture to it. Okay, you can see the meat's taken a bit of colour, it's all nicely cooked, juice is gone. So I've got a couple of onion there, just finely chopped. Going to fry these out for a minute or two and then we'll add some garlic. Right, it's been 2 or 3 minutes, the smell's changed so the rawness is gone. I'm adding 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. How much you add's up to you, but don't be too tight with it. That's a main part of your flavour. We're going to cook that out for about 1.5 minutes, maybe 2 minutes. So while that garlic's cooking out, we're just going to make up a flavour bag. So I've got a fresh bay leaf from the garden. Got some fresh garden thyme. You can use dried, but you know, if you've got it fresh, use it. This just saves fishing it out at the end. Into that also we're going to put 6 allspice berries. Not mixed spice, it's allspice. It's a berry. You can use the ground if you've got it, but the berries are better. And 2 cloves. And we'll tie that up and we'll drop that in while we're cooking it. So the garlic's all nicely cooked out. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of dark brown sugar, or demerara, whatever you want to call it. That's going in. This is going to add a bit of depth of flavour and a bit of colour and that. There we go. Into that also we're adding 1 tin of tomato. Now I've put it through a sieve thing, but you can puree it or you can use passata, you know, but about a tin of chopped tomatoes. I've got a pint of beef stock. There we go. In with the beef stock. I'm going to put in about a teaspoon or so of, I'm using hot honey, chipotle chili honey, but you can use straight honey if you want, or you can use molasses, or you could use black treacle, will work really well, but you just want to build up those flavours of sweetness. Also into there we're putting in a couple of sticks of celery that are chopped, nice big old carrot that's chopped. All these things are adding a flavour and B nutrition. In with our flavour bag, I've got 1 red pepper all chopped. Let's start giving this a stir up, it's looking good already. Teaspoon or so of sea salt, good hit of black pepper. Now I'm using a haricot bean. And what I did is I soaked them overnight, then I boiled them in a pressure cooker till they're sort of 9 parts cooked. They're just a little under. So they're going to finish cooking in this lovely liquid, absorbing the flavour. Now you can use tinned beans. You don't have to use haricot. You can use cannellini beans, pinto beans, kidney, but whatever beans you want. It's a lot cheaper to use them if you get the dried and do it yourself. But look, we're going to bring that to a boil now, and then we're going to pop a lid on her and throw it in the oven for about an hour to let it all really cook out and go mushy. Right, we're going to make the topping now for the cowboy beans. So I've got 500 grams of self-raising flour. Oh, just before I say that, the oven, by the way, is on 160 degrees, and the amount of beans that went in was 400 grams. Anyway, 500 grams of self-raising flour. Now I've got 110 grams of butter cut into cubes and some fresh rosemary. I'm just going to rub this in with my fingers. That's going to take a few minutes. Okay, so that's rubbed in. So I'm just going to add a tiny bit of English mustard powder. You don't want too much of that. It's quite strong stuff. A good pinch of sea salt. Like that. 50 grams of grated cheddar. There we go. We're just again going to mix that by hand all the way through. That'll take a second. Okay, that's all in there. You've got your rosemary, your mustard and your cheese all love each other, so you've got wonderful flavours going on. Into that I've got 300 ml of milk. I'm not going to put it all in. I'm going to put about 200 in to begin with, and we'll see, because all flours are different. You want kind of a sticky dough, and you don't want to overwork it. It's going to need, I think it is going to take the whole 300 actually. Yeah, it is. So just gently, don't overwork it. And then we're going to turn it out onto a floured board and just bring it together. Not really knead it, it's more just bringing it together, because we don't want a rough texture to it. There we go. So I'll turn this out onto a board now. Okay, so let's put this on the board. Get any last bits of cheese and that out. There we go. We're not going to really roll it out. I know you do, but I don't want to overwork it. I'd rather it steered nice. So don't worry about the edges being crumbly or anything like that. We're not making scones that have to stand up and get jam or what have you. We're after a nice topping. So I'm not rolling it, I'm moulding it out till it's kind of about an inch all round less than the pop. And that's given us about, I don't know, half an inch thickness, 2 centimetres maybe, just under. Okay, that's that now. So I'm just going to brush the top with a little bit of milk. Remember, we're not after a prize-winning scone, we're after a topping for our beans. I believe the Americans call this biscuit, but they would, wouldn't they? There we go. And now I'm just going to put some cheddar over the top of that. And by some, I mean quite a bit, because I like cheese. There we go. And we'll spread it out nice and evenish. And then we're just going to give it a wee push down a bit. Now the next bit's going to surprise some of you, but we're going to hit it with a load of black pepper. You don't have to do this. I like pepper, that's why I do it. You could sprinkle that with a bit of chili powder as well if you wanted, but we're not going to. I think Maria would kill me if I did. So we're just going to cut this like we would a pizza or a pie. Like so. There we go. I've cut it into 8 pieces. You could obviously do more pieces if you so desire. Now I'm going to transfer this to a tray and I'm going to put it in the fridge so it rests before we put it on top of our beans. Okay, that's been an hour and a half in the oven, according to the boss. So we're just going to take out our flavour bag. Give it a wee squeeze on the side. And then I've got 1 heaped soup spoon, dessert spoon actually, a heaped dessert spoon of corn flour mixed with around about 1/4 cup of cold water. And we're just going to stir this in to create like a saucification, as it were. Make it nice and saucy. The flavours are absolutely spot on. I'm not going to add any salt or anything to it. Absolutely gorgeous. Well, you can see that, it looks lovely and all, doesn't it? So, we'll just give that a second to let the corn flour cook out. Okay, that's cooked out now. It's lovely, saucy. Look how rich and whoa. There's some of that. So now we're going to put some of the scone mixture on top. Now you don't have to use them all, just because you can put this in the freezer. So just put in the amount of scones that you want to eat. So I'm going to pop in, I think 4 or 5 maybe. But you don't want them to be actually touching. You want to give them room to cook. For what is cowboy beans, home on the range. So I think 5's enough. So there we go. And the others can go in the freezer and then pop on it and recook it later. They're going in the oven. The oven's up to 180 now. It's going to be, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes until they're well risen, got a nice colour and everything looks groovy. There you go. That's it cooked. I'll take a photograph and dig in. Give this a try. It does freeze well as well, but nutritionally it's brilliant. All right, the scones are a bit naughty, but you got veg, you got beans. It's good for you. Dive in, have a good go at it.